Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Kim Sharp, the host of Bros and Pros, and I am back and ready for action. I'm so excited because today is like one of the penultimate Bros and Pros. You got one of the top players in the world. Again, you know, we're really getting top players in the world, to be quite honest with you. And there's another one, awesome guy, awesome energy. He's one of my favorite players for a variety of reasons. And one of the reasons is I really love the sport of pickleball, and I love people that bring a lot of energy to the game. I love people that make you excited about the game when you're sitting on the couch watching somebody else play it. This is this gentleman. He makes you excited to play the game, makes you excited to want to be a part of the game. He's brought so much beautiful, fun energy, fun to watch. And also I just have affinity for him because he's a family man, he's a father, you know what I'm saying, very similar to myself, you know, men that are built around their family. So I really dig the brother for that. Now, and also, this is my guy, you know what I'm saying? I got him on my show, so forget about it. What are you talking about over here? So I'm Kim Sharpton. This is Bros and Pros. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the one and only, the Badger, Dave Weinbach. He is here live with us. What's up, Dave? How you feeling, brother?
Hey, it's a good night. Got to play some pickleball today, buddy.
Nice, nice. Where did you play?
Where?
Yeah.
We just got a dedicated 6-court complex in Madison, Wisconsin here. And it's our first dedicated court complex in Madison, Wisconsin. The first of many. It took a year and a half to get it done.
Right.
We had to raise about $32,000, but the community rallied around this, and we got it done. So besides playing at Weinbach Court a lot here at the house, we now have a 6-court complex that we get to play at.
All right, you already opened up the first Pandora's box of the interview. Weinbach Court in the house. Tell me about Weinbach. Let's start there. Let's talk about the personal court. Tell me the specs on that, man.
Well, when we learned pickleball in Surprise, Arizona, about 8 years ago, my parents moved from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, to Surprise, and that's how the Weinbach family got introduced to pickleball, really. And both my wife and I and all 3 of our boys fell in love with this game very quickly. And about 2.5 years ago, we decided that we were going to build our own court.
What?
And it took a little while because we had to even out the land,
yeah,
dump in some dirt, get it going, find a seal coat company, get this thing done, and it's a beautiful court. We just put a permanent net in this year. The first year we had a temporary net. Now it's a permanent net, and it's right on the side of our house, so we get to play all the time.
What? So wait a minute, we gotta talk about that, bro, because you know that's in my pickleball wet dream list. You know what I'm saying? Building the court.
When are you coming up?
I mean, oh, bro, you know, listen, do not threaten me with a good time. I'm there sooner than later. That's a fact. All right, so just having a nice little.
And we'll come on up and we'll share the pickleball love.
Yes, that's all right. So we got so much to talk about, Dave. You overwhelming me right now, bro. We gotta talk about that shirt, cause that's crazy. I love it. All right, but we're going to talk about that in a second. Let's go back. We got to deal with this court. Tell me more about this process because I've been dreaming of doing this. You had to level the land out. Did you? How much was outside contract and how much did you do yourself?
I didn't do any of it myself because I have 0 skills in that area.
Okay.
I'm just a low, white-collar dude.
Right.
Managing my business, and I let the professionals do the things I don't have a clue.
All right.
How to do. So we hired some people that have a lot of experience in building tennis courts.
Right.
And they've done some pickleball courts in Wisconsin. And, you know, initially this was just going to be a full-length basketball court.
Right,
all 3 of our boys play basketball. And, you know, I thought, as long as we're going to do it as a basketball court, let's also make it a pickleball court. So it all started years ago. The dream was putting in a full-length basketball court and having hoops on both sides. So we actually have hoops, basketball hoops on both sides of the pickleball court. They're set back, obviously, from the court, so it's not too much of a hazard. But it was completed about 2 years ago, and we just repainted it as well. And it gets a lot of use when the kids come home from school every day. Instead of them going on to their electronic devices, they grab the paddles, they get their friends out there playing, and the kids stay active. And that was one of the goals of building the court, is so the kids have other things to do besides being on their devices all the time.
Right. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And it's important too because, you know, in this time, in this day and age, it seems like it's really difficult to keep your kids outside active, as opposed to just kind of zoning out on the computer, doing not much or nothing other than, you know, not moving, no activity.
Exactly, exactly. That was one of the main motivations of doing the court.
And well, so at this time, about 2 years ago, this is kind of before the boom of pickleball. Like I think right now, and I think maybe probably like the moment you built the court is when it went crazy, because you know now it's like everything is happening. And so, was it difficult to find the type of contract you felt that was going to be competent enough to build a pickleball court that was up to you? Well, let me ask you this: did you have exacting specs? Because you know at this point you're a professional, you're a champion.
Yep. I had all the specs on what the court should be. I had all the measurements. You know, it's easy to get all that information on the USAPA website on court construction, so you can get all the measurements.
Right.
Give them to. I found a seal coat company that mostly does tennis courts,
Right.
but they had done a couple of different pickleball court complexes. So I didn't have to educate them from scratch on what is pickleball, what are the measurements. They had that. I gave them a diagram of where I wanted the court, how much room I wanted on the baselines, how much room I wanted on the sidelines.
Right.
And, you know, for the right price, they got it done.
So, which gets used more, pickleball or basketball?
It's not even close, baby. The ratio is 80% pickleball, 20% basketball.
Are you kidding me?
The kids get addicted to this, as you know, because you've introduced people to pickleball. All it takes is getting a kid out there, or an adult, for 10 minutes. Show them a few things, and they're addicted for life. And that's what's happened with my boys and all of their friends that they bring over that we introduce the game to. Two of my boys are active in tennis. In fact, one plays varsity tennis on his team. When he brings his tennis friends over, they're out there for 5 or 10 minutes, and they're all like, how have we not found this game before, baby?
What? Wow. I love it.
They love it.
I love it. That's what's up. So now let me ask you this. Let's rewind the clock for a minute as we develop moving forward and catch up to where we are now. How does Dave Weinbach, when did you fall in love with pickleball? When did pickleball become your love?
I was very lucky when I got introduced to the game in Surprise, Arizona, at an active retirement community called Sun City Grand. I was out there, this is probably 9 or 10 years ago now. I was out there playing tennis with my dad, and I said, what in the world is that game over there making all the noises? And there were like 80 people playing on 20 different courts. It was an unbelievable scene. I had never ever heard of pickleball before this. So after playing tennis, I go over there with my dad and we're watching, and a group of people left and they needed a player. So this guy comes out to me and he sticks a paddle in my face. He goes, hey kid, get out here, we need a fourth. And his name was Pat Kane. A lot of you will recognize that name because he's an ex-national champion, one of the top players we've ever had in pickleball. He's 6'4", with arms that never end.
Whoa.
And he gave me a paddle, he put me at the kitchen line, and he said, this is a dink. And I said, I can't even spell pickleball. I have no idea how to keep score. And to this guy's credit, he taught me pickleball, and he taught me the right way.
Okay.
I learned the game from the kitchen line back. And when he taught me, like dinking and third shot drops, I had to have my third shot in there pretty good because he's 6'4", with arms that never ended. So when he stood up and he leaned in from the kitchen line, I had a window of about 1.5 feet to get that ball in the kitchen where he couldn't attack it.
Right.
So when people ask me, how'd you get so good at third shot drops? I say, I learned how to do it from Pat Kane. And he wouldn't let me leave the courts until I would get like 90% of those third shots in the kitchen and unattackable. So my addiction happened early on. I would say it was in the first 10 or 15 minutes
Wow.
of being on that court with Pat. And I was very lucky. I had some excellent instructors early on in my pickleball life down there. A gentleman by the name of Jim Hackenberg.
Okay.
A gentleman by the name of Bill Beckwith was also one of my first teachers. So I was very lucky to learn the game the right way. So I never got into really bad habits that I had to then overcome at a later time. And that's why I love meeting people early in their pickleball life, where I can get to them before they get into bad habits.
So now that's a great, all right, so now this is excellent for those of us that are striving to develop their game, that want to get to a pro level, or at least want to be a solid 4-5, 5-0, want to wear the 5-0 shirt, be in the 5-0 club. That understanding of not developing bad habits. You did have a tennis background. Did you have any other paddle sports that you?
Yes, I actually played competitive table tennis.
Nice.
When I was growing up, and
yes.
A lot of tennis. Table tennis, I was even better at than tennis. I was fortunate enough to win some tournaments early on when I was 14, 15 years old, the Wisconsin State Open, etc., and had a chance to actually get invited out to the U.S. Olympic training facility in Colorado Springs.
What?
I didn't make the first table tennis team in the Olympics. I was one of the last people cut. But I have a background of tennis and table tennis. So you couldn't invent a more perfect game for me pickleball.
And I noticed that, you get two types of players that really dominate the game. Former ping pong players, table tennis players, and tennis players. Really strong in both. I haven't really seen anybody from racquetball come out and be like, I'm a strong racquetball player. I think Byron Fresso does Byron have a racquetball background? I know he has a volleyball and racquetball. He had, indeed, excuse me, I stand corrected. Byron Fresso has a racquetball background. But generally, most tennis, ping pong is where the strength. I noticed the ping pong. Well, let me ask you, what do you think are some of the strengths that a ping pong player brings to the game versus a tennis player?
I would say that number one is the eye-hand coordination.
On whose side?
Number two is eye-hand coordination.
But I'm saying
it's very important that you get from table tennis.
All right, so
I would say that in table tennis,
yeah,
the strokes are very short swings in table tennis. So that also is a good background to have for that reason. But I would say any racket sports background, tennis, squash, there's a lot of great platform tennis players. Hillary Merrill, Yvonne Hackenberg.
Mm-hmm.
In the racquetball space, we have players like Del Kaus, Linda Kaus, Laura Ogden Fenton was a terrific racquetball player. So
really? Okay.
I would say that any of those backgrounds are excellent backgrounds to come into pickleball because it gives you the great eye-hand coordination. It gives you the quickness of the hands, the reaction time. All of those are great. We have excellent players in pickleball that have a racquetball background. There's a few players with a badminton background. Tao is another name. Tao in Colorado that was a phenomenal table tennis player.
Right.
Byron is actually an excellent table tennis player. We've had some nice battles over there at Happy Trails in Arizona.
Really? Okay. All right. I didn't know. I don't think he mentioned table tennis when we interviewed him, did he? He did? Okay, well, shows you what I know. I'm just the guy that's here. Don't pay me any mind. All right, so let me ask you this. What about the one, what do you think about the one with the little racket and it got the little string and the little red ball? Do you think that would help with the game? I'm saying, like, I figured that'd help with my... and I could just... Yeah, I mean, you can just, like, get your speed up. That might...
Hey, it can only help. It can only help. It can't hurt.
I'm trying to figure out anything that I can do to get my game better. If that's what it takes, I'm with it. Maybe a yo-yo, something to just get my hand-eye thing going better,
Yeah, I hear you.
So let's talk about this snazzy shirt that you're wearing. You know what I mean? Spreading, we've got. Let's see this again. Bring it up to camera so we can deal with this the right way. Spreading the pickleball love with Dave Weinbach. What is that about? Because that seems like there's more to it than just a T-shirt.
It is more than a T-shirt, and it all started with a series of clinics that I did in Grand Rapids, Michigan,
Okay.
a couple weeks ago, right before the State Games of America. So we just had our big State Games of America, and every 2 years we had it. It's kind of like the Olympics for just the United States. And a couple years ago it was in Omaha, Nebraska. This year we just had it in Grand Rapids. And the group there that runs the Pickleball Club, led by Paul Richards and Jeff Howlett, asked me to come in early and do a series of clinics for not only the local people there, but any player that was coming in from all over the country to participate in pickleball event within the State Games of America.
Right.
So there was a tremendous amount of interest, and it was their idea to phrase it, spreading the pickleball love clinics with Dave Weinbach. So
nice.
I kind of have taken that, and we're going to, in my tour that I do all over the country, doing clinics. Next week we're going to be in St. Louis this weekend. Last week I was in Minneapolis. So when I go to places for tournaments, I love to go in a day or two early and do some large clinics, some private lessons if there's time, and spread the pickleball love. As I said, I was very lucky to learn the right way to play early on in my pickleball life from these folks in Arizona. So for me, it's about giving back to a game that has done so much for me and my family, and hence the phrase, Dave Weinbach sharing the pickleball love.
All right, so, there's a couple of things you left out. This is cause for concern. One of the things that you left out is when you come into Augusta, Georgia, because I didn't hear that in there anywhere. Did anybody else, did I miss that part? No, I don't think anybody heard it on our side. We didn't hear anything about Augusta, Georgia, so I'm assuming that you haven't been booked out here. How does a local sports club say, man, we want Dave to come out, man, we want the Badger to come and just do it? What do they do? How do they get in contact with you? How does that happen?
How it happens is they reach out to me via email or Facebook Messenger, or they get my number, or they talk to me in person at the U.S. Open or Nationals or Tournament of Champions, or in a lot of cases it's where they bump into me, or they'll seek me out at a tournament and say, hey, is there any way you could come to Austin, Texas? Is there any way you could come to visit us in Virginia or St. Louis, or we're going to Kansas City in October and doing some clinics there before the chicken and pickle tournament. So I love doing it, and it's all about folks being able to reach out and ask me. I don't like to say no. It's just a matter of finding a time in the schedule. So people can reach out to me via email, via Facebook Messenger, or in person, and I always get back to people. So I love going to new places, meeting new pickleball friends, and sharing the pickleball love.
Nice. So, all right, so I do got a question here. My pal Sally Fuller just hit up and said, she wanted to know when you were coming to Aiken. But I'm going to answer that for you, Dave. Look, not for nothing. That's all well and cool, Sally, that you're looking for Dave to come out to Aiken. But not for nothing, I'm going to be in Aiken tomorrow, all right? I'm going to be, so, the kid's going to be out here, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be doing our thing. So tomorrow, Aiken begins its Palmetto Invitational, which is going to be its second annual. After the second one, you can say annual, right? Second annual, you can't say, a lot of people think you can say first annual, and it's not a first annual, it's the second annual. It's not annual until you do it more than 1 year. It requires commitment. So, there's a little tidbit for you. But, so Sally, just to answer your question, it doesn't matter if Dave is coming out there. I'll be there. Tomorrow, and I'll be there. Saturday, my wife and I'll be playing mixed doubles. But we'll work on getting Dave out there as well. So we'll get Orlina, who is like a fan favorite on the pickleball forum. I've never seen her game. Orlina, you need to get some video up. We would like to see some video of you getting busy. But Orlina, who is just awesome person, she got great energy. She wanted to say thank you for coming to Minnesota and that you rock.
Oh, that's sweet of her. I got to finally meet her in person after all the Facebook communication, and she came to one of our clinics, and she is such a sweetheart, and she does so many great things for pickleball. It was great to meet you, Orlina.
Awesome. That's what's happening. Can she play good? I have to notice. Does she got a little game on her?
She did. She's got some game. She did very well, and throughout my 2-hour clinic, I saw a nice improvement in her, and she asked some very good questions, and she's not bashful.
She's not.
No.
I hear tell that you're a stern teacher, though.
I am a scary teacher.
Are you?
No, I have a lot of fun with people, and anybody that you talk to that has been at one of my clinics hopefully will tell you, not only did Dave add a lot of value, and I learned a lot,
yes.
Dave made it fun.
Yes.
Because I ask a lot of questions, and I make it very interactive. It's not where my students are just sitting there listening to me talk for a half hour.
So
I make it interactive, I make it a lot of fun, and not to brag, but I think most people walk away and they can say that Dave added a lot of value to my pickleball life. And that's my goal every time.
Dave, I might be the only person that you teach that you will come away from it saying, Kim added a lot of value to my pickleball game. Like I was a pro before I taught Kim. But the things I learned through the teaching, you know what I'm saying? Because much is learned through teaching, Dave. You understand? So the things that you can learn just from teaching me, bro, will elevate your game to a new level, man.
I'm coming to Georgia next year. You might have to come to Atlanta to see me, but I'm coming there, baby.
Are you gonna come to the Get Off Your Butt and Pickle tournament?
I might come to the tournament in Atlanta in May.
Yeah,
it's come a couple of days early.
Yes.
And do some teaching and some clinics.
Oh well, I'm in there, and that's it, man. I'm in there. I'll be your assistant, because by that turn point, I may have exceeded your skill sets. At this point, though, I may have to catch up to you earlier, Dave, because at this point I'm still on the come up. But at that point, bro, I don't know, man. I might have taken you already, so I don't know if I'm,
Don't scare me, Kim.
All right, so now let me ask you this. Let's talk about you as an instructor. We understand that you're doing it, and that you're out there putting in that work, and that's awesome. And I think that is great. But I also noticed that a lot of pickleball professionals are out selling that trade. That's a street colloquialism to say, that's as a part of what you do as a professional. You go out, this was something that one of the hustles of it. I know I get the sense from you, Dave, that as father to father, that you're a teacher by nature. You enjoy the engagement. I just from watching the various interviews that I did in my research about you, I like this guy's just got magic energy. He's a loads of fun. I know that you love the people, similar to Stephanie Lane, who is just a very loving, giving energy in pickleball. But do you feel like that's the direction that you want to be in pickleball? Do you feel like is this the way your professional career is supposed to go? And I mean that really in all earnest, because to me, when I look, as much as I love the game, anyone that's a professional is a big deal to me. Like, I was a recording artist, so I had #1 record. So I'm not really like, I'm not, like shook by fame, but because pickleball is so special to me, all you guys are like a big deal to me. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's like, man, I feel like they should be getting stronger endorsements. I feel like, they should be just more backing on it. How do you feel? Talk to me about that.
For me, it's not about a profession.
Okay.
This is not what I do for a living. I have my own business, Weinbach Investment Management,
and
LLC.
We're going to get into that too.
Finance guy at the University of Wisconsin, Madison, and that's what brought me to Madison. And I've been in the investment business for 25 years. That's my real world. I tell people this is my fun play world.
Yeah.
So pickleball for me is always going to be about fun and people.
Right
and
on.
that's why when people meet me around the country, I'm never standoffish. I'm always the guy that is happy to meet new people. To me, what makes this game so unique and so special is the people and the uniqueness on how everybody gets along really well in pickleball. We all want to destroy each other on the court, but off the court, we're all friends. We all hang out. It's one of the real unique things about pickleball. And now I have this, I call it my second family. my pickleball family
Right.
all over the country. And for me, it's all about people. I love meeting new people. I love getting involved in these different communities, like what we did in Grand Rapids last week, 2 weeks ago, and spent a lot of time in St. Paul, Bloomington, Minneapolis area last week. And now I have, 200 new pickleball friends
Right on.
in those places.
Mhm.
Next week it's going to be St. Louis. After that it's going to be Kansas City. I love doing it. It's not what I'm going to do ever for a profession.
Right.
Because I think if I did it for a living, it might take some of the fun out of it.
Right.
So for me, I don't charge a lot for my clinics because my philosophy is that I want to affect as many people's pickleball life as I possibly can, given the short time frame that I have in those respective geographical places. So I charge less than most for clinics because I want to get in front of a lot of people and help a lot of people.
Well, let me just say this, Dave, just real quick, not for nothing. And I want to say this as I look into the camera at the fans watching the show. I'm going to charge a little bit more, all right? So he may not charge a lot, and that's all well and cool, and I hope that y'all excited, and y'all can go see Dave and have Dave's clinic. But if you want to come see the guy, all right, if you want Kim Sharpton to teach you a thing to do. Listen. I will teach you how to lob way past the baseline. They will never get the ball, okay? And I will show you a cross-court drive shot that will go so far off to the left, I swear to God, the person in the next court won't even be able to hit it. That's how good. So I'm just letting you know. Dave's a good guy. Me, not so nice, okay? Forget about it. In any event.
I hear you.
But now,
for
Dave,
me, Kim, it really gets down to affecting as many pickleball lives as I can. Last week, I was in front of over 120 people in Grand Rapids. Or 2 weeks ago. Last week we had, 70 people at 2 or 3 clinics that we did in Minneapolis. We're going to have over 100 that I'm going to get in front of in St. Louis, this weekend. So what means so much to me is being able to affect that many pickleball lives in a short period of time. And that's why when my friends ask me, why do you spend a lot of your time, traveling the country and doing all of this? For me, obviously I love it.
Yes.
But I feel like I'm giving back to a game that has done so much for me and my family. And I get a little emotional talking about it, but pickleball is just an unbelievable, unique game. You can talk about the physical parts of the game all you want.
Right,
awesome,
yeah. But there's
the
something
people.
else, right? There's
It's the
something
people
else
that make it special.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that, bro. I wrote an essay sort of thing. It was really kind of a Facebook testimonial a couple of months back because, my background comes from, especially in the times that we have now, like what's going on in the very recent news nationally, even in that, pickleball is still pickleball. It's so transcendent of what's going on politically and socially and racially and class-wise. It's so transcendent. It really is just a 002. Let's play. Let's get to the kitchen and let's play pickleball. And it's just such an amazing environment where I find that I never would have met some of the beautiful and amazing people that I've met through this game.
Now you're talking.
Just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people that, I'll tell you this, my granddaughter, she comes and plays and, she doesn't come and play. She comes and cries because she's not even a year old yet. But she comes with us when we play. We come through 4 generations deep. And she gets doted on the entire time we're playing by all these different women and men of different creeds, and it's just a melting pot. And I think to myself, my God, my granddaughter is truly going to have an entirely different worldview than mine. She does not, the world that I know is absolutely foreign to her right now. She just lives in perfect pickleball heaven, and just everything is cool and everybody loves her. And I just wish that, I started Bros and Pros as an extension of my love of the game, because I really want to do something for the sport that makes it more than just a couple of clips on YouTube, but getting to know these amazing people that have stepped out into the forefront of this game.
It's one reason I spend the time and effort that I do going all over the country sharing the pickleball love, because it means a lot to me to see people improve and to bring people along in their games like what people did for me.
Right.
Means so much. And, you know, the other thing is pickleball has brought me to places. So far it's just domestically, but it's going to be internationally. Pickleball has brought me to geographic places that I would have never, ever discovered. Places like St. George, Utah.
Wow.
Ogden.
Right.
Brigham City, Arizona. I could go on and on and on. The places that pickleball has brought me and the people that it's introduced to in my life that I can't express, you know, what that means. And that's why I give a lot back to this game. I'm not doing it for, you know, financial considerations. It's about affecting people's pickleball lives as much as I can, given the short time that I have in these respective geographical places that I go to.
Well, now let me ask you a question. Now, all right, with that understood, we both on the same page. Like I'm totally feeling you, Dave. And I do want to kind of touch more on, you know, when you say what it's done for you and your family. I want to ask about that. Talk to me about what it's done for you and your family. Has it strengthened the relationship between your boys and you? How's it? You know, I know your wife plays as well. Yes.
My wife plays 5 days a week. She recently retired. She plays 5 days a week. She plays a lot with our boys. We play a very, very large amount of our time is spent playing family pickleball on our court. Wow. And if we didn't have that court and had to drive 5 miles or 4 miles each way every time, we just wouldn't get as much quality time together. You know, speaking, you know, dad to dad, you know, and man to man, yes. You know the importance of spending quality time with your kids, especially at the ages that mine are.
Right.
My youngest is Sam, he's 12, and Ryan is 16,
right.
And then Jake is 17. And as you know, we're going to blink, and these kids are going to be off to college and past college.
Yes, sir.
So the most time we can get, my wife and I can get with them at this point in their life is so invaluable. And pickleball, unbelievably, is the #1 thing that we do as a family. You know, it's unbelievable. So that's one of the things I mean about how pickleball has done so much for me and my family, besides introducing us to some great people in some really cool places. You know, we spent our last spring break down in Key Largo, Florida, at a real special place. And the only reason I was invited down there was to do some teaching. And now we have, you know, 100 new pickleball friends.
Wow, right.
in that part of Florida. You know, I love the time I've spent in Naples and Fort Myers and, you know, Florida in that area, and met so many new people in that area, and my family's going to be able to come this year. So we took a nice family vacation to St. George, Utah. I wouldn't even have known that place existed on the map if it wasn't for a tournament called the Fall Brawl.
Right.
And my family loved it, made a lot of new friends there, and we're going to be going back there quite a bit. So the value that pickleball has brought to my life in terms of my family life is just invaluable.
Amazing, amazing. I mean, you know, it's funny because the ages that you are talking about for your sons, those are the bad decision years. Those are the years that you really make, like your boys can make some of the, all my children, we're empty nesters. Our kids are grown now.
Yeah. But you've been there, done that,
I've been
and you
there.
understand.
Yeah, and I know what it means.
These are times in their lives where the decisions they make now will affect their life for the rest of their life. And as you know, when you're 16, 17, 18 years old, you get things put in front of you that you can make bad decisions that affect your life. Sports in general have kept my kids out of that scene and out of problem situations, fortunately, and pickleball is just one of those activities. But I'm such a huge fan. That's why one of the reasons that the USAPA started a real junior movement in pickleball, was to get younger people involved in the game, get them out, get them active,
Yes.
get them off their electronic devices, meet new friends. You know, pickleball is so social and so easy to meet new people. I'm so excited that one of my sons, Jake, is coming out to nationals this year for the first time.
Wow.
He's going to play nationals in November.
Right.
And before we're done here tonight, I want to introduce your audience to my family before we're all done.
Oh,
here.
that's a must. That's a definite. That we have to. That's absolute. We want to be able to say, you know what? You saw the Weinbach clan here, first in full effect, ready to take on the world. On Bros and Pros. That's a definite. So that's without question. So now let's talk a little bit more. I want to push back to where we were before we got to talking about how pickleball has, you know, the things that it's done for us in our lives and how it's impacted us in ways that we could never have imagined, and go back to the development of the game from a professional level. Now, with the understanding your impetus and how you move in the game, and understand, because you're really a made man in the way of you've established a solid career. You know, you're doing well enough that you don't need pickleball to achieve what you're trying to achieve. Whereas you have some of the pros that, I mean, they're not, you know, in the interest of growing the game, in the interest of returning the love to the game and attracting young people who want to kind of have the dream of being a professional pickleball player or just taking the sport on very seriously. I would like you to put on your Weinbach Investments hat right now, the businessman, and talk to us how we develop pickleball as a business more effectively, because I think that there are a lot. Now, pardon me for such a big setup to the question, but I really want to kind of set the stage for you to take it away. The game is underdeveloped. There are a lot of people trying to start to establish, you know, carve out niches for themselves and say, well, this is what I do. I'm going to try to be the leader in this, and, you know, we're doing that, and, hey, you know, there's 500 paddle companies and they're coming up. No slight to any of them, you know what I mean? But there's a lot of people trying to hit the market, you know, trying to establish, get a foothold in a sport that is obviously about to explode in the next 5 years. And we're in the process of the explosion. What do we need to do to make the purses larger for these professionals, to create more viable income opportunities, revenue streams for professionals? Because a lot of them are still working at mom and pop's business versus being professional pickleball players.
That's a great question, and it's something that we pros actually talk about often. And I think it's great to see that we're having some of these young professionals like Kyle Yates and Ben Johns that, you know, are starting to earn, you know, some money. But to answer your question, this is already happening. We started about 3 years ago. It was a dream of John Gulo in Utah to start the PPF, the Professional Players Federation. So now we have a professional association of players.
Right.
And Carl and Bonnie and John have done a tremendous job of growing this, and they're getting national sponsorships, and that's going to be a big key for pickleball. Is to not only have the local sponsors of the different tournaments, like we have Minto as the main sponsor for the U.S. Open,
right? And
Chris and Terry and Jim have just done a tremendous job running the U.S. Open, you know, kind of like a business. And with the big purses and the big sponsorships, that's the trend that we are now going to see in pickleball. And the PPF is going to lead the way to grow this game up from a professional level. We're going to start to see now the bigger apparel manufacturers in the business.
Because I'm like, where is Nike at? Where is Adidas at?
They're
Let's
coming.
go, fellas.
They're
Come
coming.
on. All right.
And
Okay.
Ken is getting into the game. Wilson is in. Gamma. Next thing you're going to see are the major players, the Nikes, the New Balances, the Adidas. I think Under Armour.
Yes.
You're going to see all of these folks. It's still a little bit early.
Right.
But now that the numbers are going like this.
Yes.
Just skyrocketing at pickleball. I think we're going to have about 8 million pickleball players playing this game by the end of 2018.
Whoa.
When you start getting into those types of numbers,
Yeah, somebody's got to pay attention.
that's when you're going to see the big boys come into the game, increase their sponsorship from a tournament standpoint, but also, I think, get behind some of the professional players. And that's where we're going with this industry and in terms of marketing pickleball. We're going in that direction. It's going to come quickly. Fastest growing sport, not only in America, but the fastest growing sport in the world right now.
And with that, I would like to say, so to all you amazing advertisers, my name is Kim Sharp, and I'm the host of Bros and Pros. We sure like your sponsorship here at our program. So, if you like to sponsor Bros and Pros, by all means, we'd love to have you. Now, back to...
Right on cue! Right on cue!
Well, I do have some good news for you guys, is that, actually, Carl from PPF will be a guest on Bros and Pros near the end of the month. So we're going to really pick his brain and, discuss at length what the PPF is doing, the direction that they're going, and how we're going to really build this sport. And, because, Bros and Pros and Paddle Up Sports is really trying to be like the leading content provider for pickleball and start making it look the way that we think that it should look. And giving the
I'm so glad you're going to have Carl on there. And at some point, you might want to have Bonnie Williams on there as well, because Carl and Bonnie are absolutely tireless workers
right
on behalf of the PPF and doing great things to help grow this game from a professional standpoint. And they're terrific people.
Yeah.
Besides all of that. So I'm glad that Carl's going to be on there, because people have no idea what this guy's doing behind the scenes to help grow this game on the professional level. Not just for the game, but for also the professional players. And Carl, I thank you for everything that you do.
Yeah, I think that is very important. And again, that's one of the things that this show wants to emphasize is, that very element, the people that are behind the scenes doing amazing work that nobody knows about, the other facets of the game that people just don't know about, the things that we ask about on forums and discuss, but we have no real insight. This is the forum to have those discussions. Again, a normal Dave Weinbach interview is all about your game and, how many third shot drops do you hit and how long do you practice, which I think that anybody can find that out anywhere if they really looked on the internet for it. But to really get this sort of insight from you is really what's exciting to me as an individual, and have the opportunity. So once again, I want to thank you so much for being on. We still got you for a minute, but I'm going to put you on hold for one moment, Dave. We have to throw this something real quick. Can you hold on for me one moment?
Yeah.
Awesome. We're going to put Dave on hold, and we're going to switch and show everybody a new segment. You're going to put me up solo so that they can just see me because I'm sexy right now. Okay, cool. So here we go. Yeah, there it is. This is all about me right now. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, we got a couple of fun things that we do here at Bros and Pros and on Paddle Up Sports. One of the things we do is just a real fun thing called drilling and chilling. And drilling and chilling is basically us just out there drilling and chilling, which is why we named it Drilling and Chilling, because we're drilling and we're just chilling. So in this particular episode of Drilling and Chilling, we had the opportunity to try out a new paddle from a company called Pickleball. Pickleball Sports makes an amazing new paddle, and we love it. It's awesome. And I actually have my assistant, which is my awesome daughter, Shanae. And this is the paddle. And no, we're not endorsing the paddle itself, but we had an opportunity to play with it. So we had to pick it up because that's what we do. It's no thing to us, you know what I'm saying? Comes in a nice neoprene thing, you know what I'm saying, like this. And it's a nice light paddle. The gem about this paddle is its grip. I think that's what the action is at. Very nice. It's light. It's light, like you can just, it's light. But let's not talk about me talking about it. Let's go to Drilling and Chilling. If you are a paddle maker or any kind of sports, whatever, and you got a great product or a great thing and you want us to review it or put it on the show, by all means send it to us. You know what I'm saying? We always love swag. You know what I mean? So, hint to the guy that makes the pickleball shooting thing, because we like to try that out. So definitely send that to us. In the meantime, check this out, Drilling and Chilling on Bros and Pros.
This is P-Money,
This is Bumblebee, and we're drilling and chilling.
the Paddle Up Sports. Let's go.
On this episode of Drilling and Chilling, we featured Pickleball paddles. With a deceptively light feel, Currently a weight of about 7.76 ounces, this flagship paddle from Pickleball encourages you to play a more subtle game and finesse your shots. For players who enjoy a lighter paddle, this is for you. It feels agile in hand and quick during rallies and fast play. The star of the show is the handle. Constructed with high-density foam and covered in cool leather, the grip is absolutely amazing. It's a work of art and an unexpected level of craftsmanship for a startup company. But enough talk. Let's take it out for a real spin. Overall, at $55 US, the Pickleball is a great paddle for beginners and intermediate players.
The rebound, it's the real deal. You gotta hit it with a little more juice than you normally would, but I like it.
I think of the paddle, I think it's lighter, I think it lets me cut loose. I'm digging it.
So once again, if you would like to get your product featured on Drilling and Chilling, just email us at paddleupaug, spelled just like it sounds, paddleupaug, at gmail.com, and we'll definitely put that in consideration and get that on there. Again, we have the awesome Dave Weinbach with us, the Badger. We're going to get into some more stuff about him right now. In the meantime, but before we do that, what I would like to ask all our friends that are watching, share the video. Share it when you can see a Bros and Pros come on. What we would like you to do is share the video with your local Facebook group so that people can see what you're working with. See, I can see what you guys can't see. So, yeah, this guy's too much. There we go. The Badgie's up. Look at him. He got his paddle. That paddle is sick, dude. I really like that one right there, man. That's a tight paddle. Only thing that the Badger's missing is an afro, or like maybe just get his hair trimmed like mine, and that would be a real good fit for me, Dave. That's why it does kind of have an afro. He does kind of have an afro though. It's not quite. It looks like it's kind of like it's blow dried. Yeah. But it's tight though. I like it, Dave. You know what I'm saying? I love it. So talk to me about that paddle. Let's talk about your relationship with Paddle Tech. How did that come about?
I started with Paddle Tech when I was down in Arizona. I met one of the owners of Paddle Tech, who was actually making paddles out of his garage at the time. His name was Cody. And I started with them way back. Oh, that had to be close to 4 years ago now. And that was my introduction to Paddle Tech. And then as Paddle Tech came out with new paddles that I liked, I stayed with them. I'm a very loyal person when folks are fair and reasonable, and they've been a joy to work with, and just recently came out with the Badger Tempest.
Nice. So now, is this a top shelf paddle? Talk to me honestly, bro. Listen, I'm sure Paddle Tech is not watching right now. So between you and I, is that the paddle, or is it nice because it got your picture, your logo on it?
I can only speak from my experience in that this is the Paddle Tech Tempest that I used to win the last 2 U.S. Opens with my partner Kyle Yates, who also is a Paddle Tech player. And for me, it is the paddle, and that's why I chose the Tempest to be my Badger paddle.
Okay, so of the models, you chose the Tempest as the template for your paddle.
Yes, I did, because that's the paddle that I've used for over a year now.
Right.
And to me, it is the perfect combination of power and feel and sensitivity with the graphite face, and that's why I will only represent products that I have a very strong belief in. And that's why I chose the Paddle Tech Tempest to be the Badger paddle. And a shout out to Josh Cook, who helped design this and did a fantastic job. He's done also some designs for some other players as well, and he's a very talented guy.
I saw Josh post up the template for that paddle on the Pickleball forum, Ashman Kern's Pickleball forum.
Yes.
And I was like, man, this is brilliant. This dude needs to be doing, he needs to be doing the work for real. So I'm really excited for him. I think that's absolutely amazing that he actually got this opportunity and that they jumped on him, because I think it's brilliant. I think it's an amazing logo, and it sells, man. It's hot. You know what I mean? It's just a good look.
Yeah, he did a good job, and now we're starting to mass produce these. And as you say, I think it's pretty tight.
It's that's I say, huh? It's tight, and that's it. There it is. That's it. Well, let me ask you, because I watched the interview with you. Well, actually, like a spot, I think a Paddle Tech spot. I believe you were talking about the Tempest, and you mentioned something about a soft face. You know, where it's you know, I guess it has a little you know, there's like you know, I've been playing with the Z5, the Onyx Z5 for a little bit, and more of a, you know, it's got a nice texture on the front, promotes spin, but it's rigid. You know, when you hit it, you know, it's not, it doesn't have a lot, it's no cushion, you know, but you're saying that one has a little bit of that, like that give when you strike the ball?
Yeah, you know what? What's so nice about the game is there's so many great manufacturers out there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to list them all.
Of course.
But they all make very, very good competitive products that when they get into players' hands, players can execute shots.
Right.
5 years ago, I would say even 3 years ago, we just didn't have the diversification of options, of choices.
Wow, okay.
When it came to paddles. And I'll say the same thing about balls. The technology in balls, I think, is going to exceed the technology in paddles.
Hey, fella. The technology in my balls, bro.
Yeah. I mean, we've come a long way, but there's so many great paddle companies that make good paddles that have an excellent balance of power and control. For me, when people ask me what should be important in a paddle, I say that sensitivity and feel should be more important than pop or power.
Right.
Most of us can generate the power.
Right.
It's the feel shots and the control shots they're going to separate you from the player that can't get to the next level. It's the control shots and the feel shots. The consistency of hitting unattackable third shot drops and unattackable dinks. Those are the things, and that's why paddles like your Z5, and I can go on and on about all the companies besides Paddle Tech. We have Engage, we have Pro Light, we have Selkirk. We have so many companies that are all making excellent products, and I'm sure I left out. I think Onyx is another one that, you know, has an umbrella over a lot of different paddles, including yours. They all now have come out with paddles that, to me, make a lot more sense than what was out there 2 or 3 years ago. That had a lot of power,
but let me ask you
not a lot
this.
of feel with the face of the paddle.
Well, you said an interesting thing that just caught my ear, which was that 3 or 4 years ago, you didn't have that many options in terms of paddle. I mean, now you have an array of paddles. I mean, they got all kind of stuff going on. And
even though I'm a Paddle Tech sponsored player, I love growing the game.
Right.
And with the amount of people and players that we're going to have in pickleball over the next several decades, there is plenty of business. There's plenty of room that all these companies can and will be successful.
All right. Well, let me ask you this though, because this is what I'm curious about here is how is now the diversification of paddles, the availability of different styles of paddles impacted your gameplay? Because if you have a paddle now that provides more sensitivity, gives you more sense of feel, did you notice a marked increase in your skill set or what you were able to do with your game? Did that impact?
Absolutely. Absolutely. What's happened with paddles is now a lot of the pro players like me will use one paddle for doubles and will use a different paddle for singles, because in singles, it's a totally different game. In singles, I want the power. I want the pop because I got to pass people. I got to hit passing shots. It's about power. In doubles, it's about control, and it's all about consistency. So for me personally, I use the Badger Paddletech Tempest for doubles, and I use a Bantam XL, which is also made by Paddletech, for singles, because that paddle has more power and more pop. So in singles, when you got to hit passing shots, and you want to hit really hard serves and be much more aggressive, it's a different game than it is for singles. And that's what a lot of the companies are doing, is they make some paddles that have a lot of power, but then they also have a product line with a more sensitive screen, or a more sensitive, what I call face of the paddle. And when you have those types of screens or faces that are more sensitive, you feel like the ball is on the face of the paddle for an extra eighth of a second. And that sensitivity gives you more control, more feel. So you have a lot more consistency on soft shots like dinking and third shot drops.
Right, and you know, and that's I haven't experienced a paddle like the Badger paddle, where it has that give on the face yet. Mine have primarily been kind of rigid, you know, more having that pop, you know, so it really rebounds the ball quickly. It feels like, and I'm more of a precision player, so that's very interesting to know that you know, because you see cats come through tournaments with a suitcase full of paddles, and you're like, dude, come on, are you selling these? Are you like, this is your whole arsenal? Like, cats come out full regalia, like with all kind of different stuff. I hadn't realized. Well, I mean, I realized it, but this is the first time I'm really hearing it articulated, how impactful the yo, Dave, you too much, man. This cat, he's like getting his shirt in and screaming.
I knew you'd like that one.
He's like, this is Dave. He's like,
you want to see that again?
Yeah. Go, yeah, there you go. Spreading the love, the pickleball love, all over the world, baby.
Spreading the love, baby. Spreading the love.
Well, let me ask you this: what's your favorite, singles or doubles?
I really prefer the doubles game.
Really?
I think there's so much more strategy and teamwork, obviously, and communication. I think it's more fun. If I was 22 years old or 23, I might say singles. You know, when I played tennis, I always wanted to control my own destiny.
Right.
So I loved to play singles when I was younger. But when I hit 35, baby, I'm like, I'm not covering this whole court.
Yeah.
Give me some doubles, man. Give me some doubles. So,
I know that's right.
I've always preferred the doubles game, even though I play singles. And I've won singles, you know, at nationals, at U.S. Open, in my age group. I still enjoy competing in singles, and I'll still do it. But I really enjoy the doubles game. There's so much more strategy and different techniques and different ways to play, and the whole thing with having a partner on the court with you, and the communication, and the different styles, and the different personalities, and you have 4 people on a small court, so it's very social.
Yes.
So I'm a huge fan of doubles.
Yes. The social aspect of in and of itself makes it superior. I do like singles because singles makes me feel like I'm not responsible for anybody else but what I do. So they can't play to my weaker partner, be they male or female. You know, 'cause I mean, really, in pickleball, to me, gender is really a non-issue because there's so many strong female players. And you know, my wife, for example, she could bang as hard as anybody else in our category, in our skill level. What do you do to get ready for a tournament? That's my mom actually asked that. You know, Bertie Wilson, my mother, she said, "Did you ask him? How does he prepare for a tournament?" So what do you do to prepare?
What's her name, Bertie?
Yeah, my mom's name Bertie.
Yo, Mama Bertie.
Yeah. She's gonna love that. She's in the house right now. I know she's in the house carrying on right now.
I'll tell you, Bertie, when right before a tournament, whether it's, starting in about 10 days before a tournament, I will really start to gear up. And for me, it's as much a mental focus thing as it is what I'm doing physically. Because I play a lot of pickleball, whether it's before a tournament or not. I play pretty much 5 days a week.
All right.
If I'm not playing, I'm teaching. I do a lot of instruction, both clinics and small groups of like 4 to 8 people. I like to do those groups like I did today. We had a couple of really good groups of 8 people today. And I do private lessons as well. But for me, I like to get in some really competitive games. So I'll go in at 2 or 3 days before most tournaments, especially our majors like the U.S. Open, TOC, Nationals. I'll go in a few days early, get accustomed to the surroundings, maybe the altitude. Like in a couple weeks, we're all going to be in north of Salt Lake City, in Brigham City, Utah, a little bit north of Ogden.
Yes.
And we're in high altitude, and we're using a Dura fast 40 ball, and they really can
Fly.
fly off the face of the paddle. So I'll go in early, and a lot of my friends will as well. So we'll get some real high competitive games, the day or two before the tournament. I'm fortunate enough that in my area here in Madison, Wisconsin, and within a couple of hours of here, I have a lot of 4 or 5 level players and maybe 10 or 12 5-0 players that I can get some real competitive games. And when I do, every time I come to the courts, I'm always thinking about a specific skill that day that I want to focus on. So I might say, I am not going to miss one dink today. Out of the 4 hours that we play,
Right.
I'm not going to miss one dink, and I'll focus on that. One day it might be, I'm not going to miss a serve or a return the whole day. I'm going to get them all in the last half of the court, preferably the last third of the court, and I'm going to focus on that day. Tomorrow we're playing, and I've already decided that I'm going to focus on my third shot drop tomorrow, and not missing one third shot drop. And that's how I stay real mentally, as you would say, tight.
I can't, dude. I can't. This guy's doing it. I'm trying to think. Did I even say tight yet? No, I didn't. I don't think I even said that. I'm like, oh, wait, we got I got a question real quick. Let me make sure I gotta get some of Orlina wants a shirt. Where can we order our shirts?
These shirts are going to be available starting in about 2 weeks. So, Orlina, can't get them yet, okay? But you can private message me, and we'll get those to you. And Orlina, I know you want one of these, and I'm gonna get one of those to you as well. I promise you.
Yeah, you're gonna get one over this way too. About 2 or 3 of them over here for Bros and Pros. This we do know. All right, let's get that going. You know what I mean? I'm already getting. We're already about to send you sizes and everything. Autographed in the whole.
Real tight.
Yeah, they're gonna be. Oh yeah, and I want mine tight. I want mine an extra medium. All right, so it's nice and tight and wrapped around me tight. I want you to sign like right here, like.
Man, it is gonna rock on you.
Man, listen, I'm gonna kill him, bro. Bro, I'm gonna kill him. Bro, I'm gonna kill him. They gonna be like, yo, dude, where'd you come? Like, son, don't even ask me where I got this from. Straight from Dave Weinbach himself, the badges. Matter of fact, that's the question. Yeah, there it is. This is with love, kid. I got pickleball love, son. You can't stop me. You can't stop me. I got pickleball love, baby. I'm tight. I'm tight right now. I'm too tight. So now, all right. So now I know that you were a Wisconsin Badger. That was the college. Is this where the name the Badger comes from, or is it come from the fact that you are literally about, you're obviously a grown man, but at the same time, you might be a 13-year-old trapped in a grown man's body. Might even be a 12-year-old. trapped in the girl. Because I watched you play, and you were literally all over the court. I watched you play with Stephanie Lane, and she had to be like, no, we're over here, Dave. We're over here. You're like, okay. It's like, no, over there. Come to this side, Dave. You're like, okay. You're so fired up to play. Tell me about that, man. Like, because it seems like the pickleball has allowed you to get back to the part of you that plays. Just actually goes out, not plays the sport, but actually goes out and plays.
I love to compete. I always have in my life. I had an older brother who was 2 years older than me. His name's Andy. And my father was a very competitive person. So, by the time I could hold a table tennis paddle or a tennis racket, I was competing. And I grew up playing soccer, basketball, tennis, competitive table tennis. I don't care if it was backgammon or chess or tiddlywinks. I always wanted to win.
I know that's right.
And pickleball now has taken those competitive juices, and I'm able to get all that done on a pickleball court now. So I love to compete. I always have. And I stopped playing competitive tennis about 4 years ago. I played on a USTA lead team for 23, 24 years.
Wow.
And I still enjoy tennis. I still play with my kids. But this is where I get my competitive juices out now.
I know that's
that
right.
That is on the pickleball court. And I love playing with Stephanie. I played a lot of mixed doubles with her over the years.
Yes.
In fact, we just played in Minneapolis last weekend, and we're fortunate enough that the Nashville Queen carried me again to a gold medal. I don't think she missed one lob in the whole day. She was 20 for 20, I think.
She's the lobster queen. Are you serious? Of course she did.
She's a special player, but even more importantly, a special person.
Yes,
and someone who I would have not met if it wasn't for this great game. So to get back to your question, I love to compete. It brings out the adrenaline in me. And, some of these tournaments, they're very long days. We'll start at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And in some cases, not play the gold medal match till 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening. So I've really learned to take care of my body.
Right.
I eat right. I eat very healthy. I exercise every single day, whether it's pickleball or tennis or walking 18 holes or basketball with the kids or a long walk with my wife and the dog. I really learned. I just turned 48, and I feel like there's no reason I can't compete with the younger generation into my mid-50s as long as I take care of myself.
So now that's a good question. That segues to another question. And let me just take note that we actually are at the 9:09 time frame. Our interviews are supposed to be an hour. As always, they always go run over. And we always have to have this moment in our interview where we ask our guests, if you don't mind, hanging out with us for a couple more questions, because we're enjoying you so much. Is that cool, Dave?
Oh, that's tight.
Extra tight. That's it, man. We're done. That's it.
Hi, Bernie.
Does he watch? All right, do you watch it? Do you go to the tape? Do you watch video yourself?
I'm not a huge fan of watching videos of pickleball. If I have a big match or something like the U.S. Open, I don't watch a lot of video of pickleball.
Really?
I run a business and I play a lot and I teach a lot and I have a wife and 3 kids, so there's really not a lot of time for me for TV or video. I don't watch a lot. I'd like to more. Once in a while, I'll try to watch like other players. But for me, I played that match. I don't need to rewatch it. I played there, been there,
done it,
done that. The matches that I watched on video a lot were the 2 U.S. Open finals. The first year, Cody Yates and I played Wesley Gableson and Daniel Moore in the final of the U.S. Open. That was a great match.
Yes,
I watched that a number of times. And then this past year, we played Matt Wright and Rafael Sidinstein. If I'm not pronouncing that right, I apologize. In the final. And those are on CBS Sports Network, and those I really have enjoyed watching.
Nice. And how do you feel about CBS and one of the large networks, covering the Nationals the way they did?
Well, you talked about this sport getting more professional. That's the other area that we're going to see a lot more. CBS not only has re-upped for the U.S. Open this year, but they're also going to televise the finals of Nationals.
Right. Wow.
In
Wow.
November.
Wow.
So CBS Sports is all in pickleball.
Yeah,
and
that
in my
sounds like
opinion, it's just a matter of time before the ESPNs of the world get on the pickleball bandwagon.
And on that note, ESPN, CBS, if you'd like to have Bros and Pros on your program, of course, you just contact me. I'll be happy to do a show. It's for you guys. Anyway, back to Dave Weinbach. All right, so Dave, what we want is how much? Oh, that's a good question, Dave. They want to know how much do you drill? How often do you drill? Or is it something that's like? I mean, you're doing a lot of teaching, you're doing a lot of playing, but I mean, do you really spend a lot of time drilling? I mean, I understood what you were saying about how you play and how you kind of incorporate skill sets in your play, but are you doing a lot of drilling exclusively?
When we go to the courts, we usually will drill as our warm-up for 20 minutes to a half hour before we just go into games. So I'm often drilling at home with my kids because we're working on specific skills, but that's me more drilling them.
Right.
Per se, I really love teaching, and in my teachings, it's 90% drilling, 10% playing in my teachings.
Right. Cause it's something I was telling my wife, who never listens. All right, let me just start there, okay? Let's just start there. She doesn't listen. And I'm telling her, listen, we got to drill. We got to drill. Let's not play every day. Let's drill. Because if you play, you're going to reinforce your bad habits. If we drill, we can develop our new skill sets and really start refining our fundamental game so that we don't get beat up. We can hold our own because we can always, rely on the fundamental. They just turn the fan away from me because of that.
One of the real keys to a pickleball player's life is to learn early the right way to play the game and don't get into bad habits. It's very difficult when you get into bad habits and then you've got that muscle memory to overcome that. So I love to do clinics for beginners and people that have been playing for a short period of time because I can get to them before they get into these bad habits.
Give me 3 bad habits that has like the epidemic 3 bad habits.
The epidemic 3 worst habits.
3 worst habits.
90% of pickleball players have that I meet.
Everybody take out your notepads. This is it.
Early in their pickleball life. Number 1, and it's something that no one really has ever thought about, but we talk about it a lot in our clinics, and that is grip pressure on the paddle. Grip pressure on the paddle.
Whoa, what do you mean?
9 out of 10 pickleball players grip their paddle way too tight.
Really?
They don't even know that they're doing it. I hear Mama Birdie.
No, you hear my wife in the background. She's like, yes, I don't do that. She's all hyped up because she doesn't do that. And I'm like, I never heard that before. That's the first time I heard that.
Thank you, Dave.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the tightest, and 0 being this, where you drop the ball, I want people to be a 3
What?
to a 4 with grip pressure when they're hitting a soft shot.
Okay.
What are the soft shots we hit in pickleball mostly? Dinking and third shot rock.
That's right.
So folks out there, not too tight with your grip pressure, because when your grip pressure is too tight, you lose sensitivity, you lose control, you lose feel. The second epidemic of bad things we have in pickleball that too many people do is they move backwards on the pickleball court. I see so many people, they work hard to get to the kitchen line, and they get into a dinking contest, or someone drives the ball at them, and what do they start doing? They start moving backwards, And before you know it, they're 5 or 6 feet behind the kitchen line. You all know who you are to do this. The reason that that's an epidemic is that when you move backwards in pickleball, it enables your opponent to hit the ball down at your feet and take your shoelaces.
Yes.
And that's obvious. But what people don't realize sometimes, and don't appreciate, is that when you go backwards, it opens up angles. It opens up angles where people can angle the ball for a winner. And I'm not just talking about the angle that's out wide. Everyone thinks about the angle going out wide. But how about the angle going down the middle? So when you back up, it opens up angles. It allows your opponent to hit the ball down at your feet.
Right.
It also makes your shot to drop it in the kitchen much harder when you're 5 or 6 feet beyond the kitchen line.
Right. Right.
Okay? So number one epidemic is grip pressure too tight. Number two epidemic is falling and moving back from the kitchen line. Number three epidemic is when someone hits a deep return to people. So we have the serve, now we have the service return. And now you're getting ready to hit a third shot drop. So many people, when they get ready to hit that third shot drop, they are falling away at impact. They're falling away at impact. Folks, in racket sports, when you fall away as you try to hit a ball, what happens is you lose all power. You lose control. You're not going to have any consistency on your third shot drop. Besides all those bad things, when you fall away and you end up 4, 5, 6 feet behind the baseline, now you've got too far to go to get all the way to the kitchen line.
Right.
You're not going to get to the kitchen line all the way up there after your third shot drop if you fall away at impact. So try not to fall away on your third shot drops. I teach, I want all your momentum, all your weight going forward at impact on that third shot. Because then you have a head start to get to the kitchen line.
Right.
Where
Right.
you and your partner have to be to play winning pickleball.
Whoa, that's heavy, bro. That was deep, man. That's church right there, bro. That was tight.
We don't mess around on Bros and Pros.
Nah, no, we know, baby. That's tight right there. That was tight, all right? You can get a title on that one. That was T-I-T-E tight, all right? That's the kind of tight that is, all right? That don't even have a G-H in there. That's a T-I-T-E tight, all right? That was big time.
I love helping people. I love teaching this game. And when I see folks around the country at tournaments or whatever, don't be shy. Come up and say hi. Ask for pictures. And keep spreading the pickleball love, folks.
All right, so one last question for you. I got a million questions for you, but that's gonna be for the next time we get up. But you know, one of the questions: what do you want people to know about Dave Weinbach that they may not know right now? What's one of the things that you say? Well, you know what? People really don't know this about me, but I really would like them to know that this is what I'm about, as far as the game, as far as life, whatever.
Well, you know, people see you on video and they see you in the pickleball world. What people don't see is, you know, the family man, you know, behind the scenes, who really values family and relationships. And those are the things that you know, folks just can't, you know, see or appreciate. You know, I'd like people to know that I'm one that has, you know, behind the scenes, you know, tried to really support the game and help bring pickleball along, both for pickleball as a sport and growing the game, and also for players. I like to spend time with people, even if it's not in an official capacity as a private lesson or a clinic. but just if I see him out playing, you know, to give a few pointers here and there. And I would want people to know that I'm one that is really trying to help grow this great game, because it really is a very unique sport with incredible people.
I know that's right, Dave. You know, there's one last thing I actually did want to ask you. I found it interesting because, you know, I went through your Facebook page, got all in your business, bro, all in your business. I went way back to 2012. I mean, I was in 2011, 12. Man, I was, you know, like, and I noticed the increase in pickleball mentions over the years. Around 2014 is when you started to actually posting stuff about pickleball. Like as if around that time you started to engage the game more.
Yeah.
But one of the things I saw on 2014 was this really cool video. You had on a pair of Google Glass, you know, Google Glass, I think they're called. Wait a minute, I think we're getting the video ready now. Matter of fact, we're gonna go to the video. I'm gonna show you a clip of the video. I'm gonna do something difficult and turn my camera around so I know that you can see it. Oh yeah, you can see it. No, but it'll be delayed, so you won't see it for a second. So we're gonna turn it for a day so you can see what we're talking about. And I'm sure he knows what I'm talking about because he was the one that did it. So this is Dave doing the Google Glass. Everybody, give it a check out, and then we're gonna ask him all about that and get his business real quick.
Yes, yeah. Good shot.
Oh, I remember this.
What about you?
I was wearing camera glasses that my friend Joan let me use that day. That was in Rockford, Illinois, and I was playing with those glasses on to get a view of the game and a perspective from eyesight. I remember that. Thank you to Joan Azika for the use of those glasses. Those were hers.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's how that came about. I was like, how did that happen? Like, I always wondered how that all, you know, came together.
Yes.
And that's pre-GoPro days. So that's like the first.
Oh yeah.
That's the first.
Yeah.
That's nice, man. That's cool. That's cool. So Dave, listen, what's coming up in the future for you? So that what next clinics can we expect? What's next is, you know, fantastic that's gonna happen? What next great surprise is going on that we need to know about from Dave Weinbach?
Well, next on the agenda is a bunch of clinics and lessons in St. Louis this coming weekend. Looking forward to that. Then we're off to Brigham City, Utah for TOC, the Tournament of Champions. I'm playing there with Joy Leasig and Kyle Yates in that tournament. And then in October, I'll be in Kansas City doing some clinics and tournament there. And of course, we have nationals in November. So got a bunch of stuff lined up for clinics all over the country over the next 6 months or so.
Nice.
We just hot off the presses came out with the Badger Paddletech Tempest. So these are now going to be available for sale.
Nice.
And we're going to try to get these out and have people be able to use this paddle if they feel it suits their game. Then in December, I spend some time in Arizona in December, and I'll be making the rounds all over, all the way from Phoenix area to Scottsdale to Tucson, doing clinics and lessons in the middle part of December. So that's what's coming up for me.
So we got a nice full year to expect from you. Then we're gonna see you doing a lot of activity. I got one more question from one of our viewers, my bro, Manish Rao. Namaste, Manish. He's out of India, and actually just a real quick shout to him because he is gonna be introducing a real cool show on not on Bros and Pros, but on Paddle Up Sports. So keep an eye out for that. It's gonna be all about pickleball in India and that lifestyle. But Manish's question was, Dave, is there any such thing as burnout or oversaturation because of too much pickleball? How do you combat that issue?
For me personally, I don't get burned out, and I play a lot, and I teach a lot. And I think part of it is I give that balance of playing with friends, playing with family, and teaching, both private lessons and some of these larger group clinics, where I can get in front of a lot of people in a short period of time and share the pickleball love. And that brings me a lot of balance. And of course, I have my professional work life as well, which I spend a lot more time with that than I do pickleball. I really haven't heard of any pros, getting burned out.
Okay.
There are many folks that are playing, 6 to 7 hours a day. The folks that play on the professional tour, most of them take really good care of their bodies and their minds, and they don't overdo it. They don't overdo it with their body, and they don't overdo it with their mind in terms of pickleball. So it's all about finding that life balance.
Right.
And for each human being, that's different. For me, I can play, 3 to 4 hours, 6 days a week.
Right.
And I don't get burned out.
Right. Right.
Because to me, every time I play, it's different people.
Yes.
And different personalities. And that's why I love the game so much, is, as folks that have played with me know, I like to talk a little smack on the court and make it fun for everybody and fun for me. Now, not in a tournament, obviously, but for me, pickleball is all about meeting great people, having fun, making people better, making new friends, and getting some great exercise.
All right, Dave, you made us a promise earlier that we're going to have to see fulfilled. You said we were going to get to see the entire Weinbach clan. Can we live on that? Can we see the full...
Oh, yeah, let's see if we can...
if you can round them up. And I know a couple of them was walking around the house shirtless, so I don't know, see if they, what I mean, decided to put on their clothes or whatever, And while he gets that, so he's calling the crew, as you can hear in the background. If you guys got any awesome questions that you'd like me to ask Dave before we wrap it up, man, make sure you get them in. In the meantime, we want to say as well, share Bros and Pros on your local pickleball pages, on the national pickleball pages, so that everybody gets an opportunity to see. Okay, I'm going to tell you something. Honestly, there's no other show that is interviewing this level of professional and getting this sort of insight. These are things that you're just not going to see anywhere else. So we're really excited, and we want you to share, because we don't want people that would love this. I'm going to tell you a quick anecdote while Dave gets sorted out. I see him actually is sorted out. I'm going to make this quick. So this is what used to happen. Years ago, my wife and I used to watch the show, the Big Deal with Donnie Deutsch. I used to love the show because the show gave you an insight into how these successful people develop their brands. It didn't just tell you that, I was broke one day and now I'm a billionaire and this is what I'm doing, this is the jet life that I'm living. But they talked about how they developed relationships and built deals and, developed their own brand. And I thought, man, that's just a great show. This is what I'm looking for. I want this kind of insight. And I think that a lot of us that enjoy pickleball, as much as we enjoy the back and forth of the game, there's nothing like the sound of that ball hitting that paddle. And there's nothing like the sound of that ball hitting the paddle and going where you intended it to go and then getting a point. Oh my God, it's like the best feeling ever, right? We also want to know more about the sport and how it works, and so that's what the show's about. But enough about that. Let's go back to Dave, because Dave has got the clan, the full-on, the W clan, Wu-Tang clan in the background. What's up?
Hey, what's up? We got two of the Weinbach clans here. Everybody, meet the future of Weinbach Pickleball. To my right, we have Jake. Jake, say hi, everybody. Send some love. Hello. Jake actually has played. How many tournaments have you played now in pickleball? 3.
3 tournaments, Jake.
Jake is 17 now. And to my left here, we have Ryan. Hello. Who's been playing pickleball for about, 6 or 7 years now?
I think so, yeah.
And Ryan is also a accomplished tennis player and table tennis player. And why don't you guys have a seat and say hi to everybody, Ryan?
Yeah, we're gonna pick y'all brains real quick, man. Jake, right?
Yep.
All right, Jake, talk to me, bro. How do you like? Pickleball is an old people sport. Let's talk honest, me and you. You know what I mean? You don't got a front for me, Jake. You don't got a front for me, baby. Come on, it's me.
That's just what they say. That ain't true.
It ain't true. Is
That ain't true.
it catching on in a younger crowd?
Yeah, I mean they try to do it in school, teach it in PE and stuff, but
Right.
it's not the same.
Do you see people wanting to pick it up based on what they're teaching in school, or is it more of a young people catch on as a result of hanging out and then having the experience with somebody else? Is like, oh, okay, I kind of like this, or how do you are you seeing younger people getting involved?
Yes, but not in Madison.
Really?
In Madison, it's not popular at all. It's mostly just tennis, table tennis, that kind of stuff.
Wow, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean at school they don't really try. They have these wooden paddles, and it's just not the same as what we do like down in Arizona when we play. It's just a lot different.
So now, coming from a youth perspective, how do you see the game becoming more appealing for younger people? What is it missing? What does it need?
It needs, I guess, just more popularity. I guess more people playing the game, more teachers, and more just like open courts. I'd say.
Is there a lot of courts where you're at? Well, I know your dad was saying there was some courts that they just got finished building recently, right?
Yep, we just got some courts. That's just in one place.
Right.
Then we have one at our house.
Right. You can't have everybody at the lab to come play pickleball because you don't like everybody, so everybody can't come over to play pickleball. You gotta be like, yo, fam, you could come, but your man's not. He can't come over to my house.
Exactly.
What music are you listening to before you go out to play a tournament?
Music?
Yeah, you gotta have some. There gotta be some music. What do you like? What do you talk to me? Give me some names.
Khalid, Chance the Rapper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chance. What's your theme song? Let me know what if you could share it. I don't want you to get in no trouble. As you know, some of these songs now, today you're like, I can't really tell you what my theme song is right now. Email it to you.
Yeah.
What you got? You got a good email? A good theme song you listen to before you play?
I do.
What?
I do. It's called Young, Dumb, and Broke.
Yeah, I like that song too. Except for my version is Old, Dumb, and Broke. So yeah, so it ain't hitting like theirs is. But yeah. Migos fan?
Know it. What?
Like Migos?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm making sure you on point. I'm just like, let me check to see if he's,
Trying to make sure you wasn't left on bad and bougie.
Yeah, I'll make sure you wasn't left on bad and bougie.
Yep. That's good.
Okay, cool. Let me get your brother real quick. Let me see what he's talking about real fast.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Jake. Let's bring in Ryan here. Ryan, get in the hot seat.
Big Ryan, what's up, bro?
What's up, dude?
I'm chilling, man. Listen, I got a big question for you. It's real. Ryan, you play better than Jake or what, man? Just tell me honestly. You know what I'm saying? Jake, he not here no more. He can't hear nothing. Who's the better player, you or Jake? Who's the high one?
Yeah, man, he's got more experience.
Does he? That's
Yeah.
cool, man. That's cool. That's what's up, man. That's you keeping it honest. You like the game? How you feel about the game? You wanna advance in the game?
Yeah, I love the game. I try to go out there and play as much as possible. I really like it.
Yeah.
I'm meeting a lot of new people and having fun.
Your dad was telling me that sometimes you bring your tennis friends over and then y'all are jumping on pickleball almost immediately. Is that accurate?
Yeah. I try to get him into pickleball, give him a little whooping.
Nice,
You know.
nice.
You know.
Which do you prefer, pickleball or tennis? Which is your favorite?
Well, it depends. Like during the tennis season, during the school, my main focus is tennis. I really try to get better in that. But,
Yeah.
Like, in the off season, I grind on pickleball.
Yeah.
I try my best. I'm
Yeah.
out there.
Nice. Are you hip to the have you watched any like the Sick Tricks video like with Kyle, Brian, who else is and Ben?
Nah, I don't think I'm aware of that.
Yeah, you gotta get hip to Sick Tricks. I think y'all like it because you know what, that right there. If you and Jake pick up on that, like just the whole like they're doing with pickleball what skateboarders started doing at some point and started putting cool videos together and just like showing
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
because something Kyle said to me, he's like, yo, he's like, listen, man, I'm a 6.0 player. I can do whatever I want with this ball. I was like, whoa, dude. He's like, it ain't even about unforced errors with me. I can do whatever I want with the ball. I'm like, man. And I was like, you know what? That's really the next level, is the ability to take that ball and do whatever, like, almost treating it like a hacky sack,
Yeah, I get it.
So, we got to see you get to that level. So I asked your brother, I'm going to ask you, what's your theme song before you hit the court? Whether it's tennis or pickleball.
That's one to think about, man. I don't really know. I don't got one.
You got a couple?
No, I just like listening to what my friends listening to.
So basically, if they was playing show tunes in the car, you'd be singing show tunes?
Yeah, I just be singing that song in my head. I just be singing it in my head when I get on the court.
Oh, you just get your...
Hyping me up.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. You know what I'm saying?
That is what's up.
There it is. So are you enjoying the game? Enjoying your dad's fame in it? How has that impacted the family?
I'm loving the game, man. Every aspect of it.
And how has your dad's popularity in the game impacted y'all? Has that had an effect?
It's got me to meet a lot of new people. I'm really loving it.
Yeah.
Got me up there. Yeah, it's really improving my game. Playing with his friends.
Yeah.
I really like it.
And you're doing a lot of traveling as well now, because y'all go from time when you're available.
Yep,
you go from place to place. Changes your worldview.
Yeah, I got a lot of new connections now.
You got connections.
Got connections.
Ryan got connect. Ryan got connect. Okay, so you the connect then. Okay,
Yeah.
Now I know who to call when I come.
Oh yeah. I got you.
Yo, I get it. He said, yo, I got a lot of new connections. Forget about it, all right? If it's a problem, call Ryan. I got you, all right?
You need something else.
He's the plug, yo. This is the guy. If you need something, this is the guy. Hey, yo, Ryan, man, thanks so much for being on the show, bro. You're the top,
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, it's a pleasure, bro. Let me say peace to your dad, man, so we can get on with our night, man. I think we've been on here way too long.
See ya. Peace out, man.
Peace, bro.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, that's it, man. Oh, man, I love the energy, bro.
I
He's like, I got connections, baby. He's like, yo, yeah, if you got a problem, call me. I got you. I got the plug. I know people. Forget about it.
These guys are keeping me young.
That's the blessing of it, man. That's the blessing. And I think that also your personal energy is doing it as well, man. I think you're keeping the game young. I got one last question. I keep saying I got one last question. This is my last question for real. It was a great question. A statement I read in the article that was, I was doing my research, and an article came up that someone wrote. I'm sorry I can't cite his name right now. I think it's Glenn. I can't remember his last name. But the question he asked, or the statement he made was that although you happen to be one of the top players in the above at the above 40 age range, 48. He said that in the next 3 years there will not be another champion over 35, because the game will have advanced with so many young players coming in, bringing so much a level of athleticism, power, control, that just has not been experienced in the game. I don't think that that's a derogatory statement at all. I think it's kind of honest, if you look at it. I mean, I look at my son, who is phenomenal on the court, lightning fast, can jump over the moon, and he's developing his fundamentals now. So I'm looking at him saying, I'm never keeping up with this kid once he really gets focused on the game. Do you feel like that's an accurate statement, and do you think that's a good thing for the game, or do you think it's a bad thing for the game?
I think it's a wonderful thing for the game, because what it tells you is there's so many great young players that are coming into our great sport.
Right.
So I think it's terrific that we're seeing the younger generation come into pickleball. Our game is getting younger and younger and younger. I hope he's wrong about in the next 3 years that a 50-year-old or
Yeah, I think he said a 50-year-old could not. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to prove Glenn wrong.
Okay.
But Glenn is very wise about this game. Writes a lot of great pieces.
You know who I'm talking about then.
Yeah. Glenn Peterson does a terrific job.
Thank you.
He writes a great blog,
Mm-hmm.
and I like the way he thinks. He's a forward thinker.
Right.
And I think it's great for the game to have all this new, young, super talent coming in.
So you don't mind the notion? You don't mind the notion that a younger player is gonna dethrone what you good because not for nothing, Dave. I am younger than you. And I'm gonna say honestly, a little bit more attractive than you. Okay.
And you're tight.
And I'm tight, baby. I'm tight. I'm tight and taut, baby. so I'm coming, man. That's it. Oh man.
In all seriousness, it's a natural progression of a sport.
Right.
I don't care what sport it is, but when you have new young people coming into the game, like these two youngsters that you were just talking to,
Jake and Ryan,
they will be able to beat me. 2 or 3 years from now, they'll be able to beat me in singles and probably in doubles because I think their track is just going so quick.
Yeah.
And their foot speed and their hand speed is going to be so superior. So It's natural progression in any sport that when you have the level of excitement that we have in pickleball right now,
right,
you're going to keep seeing the Kyle Yateses and the Ben Johns and these great young talents. More of their friends, more of the younger pickleball players are going to come into pickleball, and with the money that's coming into the game,
right,
and with the advent and the work of the PPF and the USAPA and the junior, development that we have going within the USAPA, it only bodes for great things for the future of pickleball, my friend.
Beautiful. And with that, we're going to take that one right there. That's the best way to close out this show. So we're going to close it out and say thanks again to my guest, Dave Weinbach, the Badger, man. You know what I'm saying? Awesome dude, man. I had a great time talking with you, brother.
So much fun, and we'll do it again next year, my friend.
You got it, bro. I'll see you soon, man.
Okay. Hey, thanks for having me.
Oh, it was my pleasure. It was my pleasure. So in the meantime, in between time, we just want to give a quick shout out to a couple of this and that so everybody knows what's up. And so I'm waiting for my awesome to do that awesome thing. There we go. And yeah, we're good. So anyway, we'll say again, thank Dave Weinbach and his family for being a part of the show. Outstanding, excellent experience. Great deal of information. So, we can't thank him enough and all of the pros that have been a part of Bros and Pros over the last couple of months. We're going to continue to develop the show and continue to reach out to the very best players and leaders in the industry. And we want your feedback. If you have somebody that you'd like to see us interview, just say the word. I'll give Ryan a call. Ryan got connections. He's the plug. So I'm sure that if I can't get to him, Ryan got me. All right. So that's off the rip. Let's understand that. But also, the beautiful thing about the sport is that it's young enough and the energy is there that we can reach people and they're approachable and they'll make the time to sit down for an hour, and we had Dave for an hour and 45 minutes just now. How about that? You know what I'm saying? The top player in the game. You know what I mean? When the top player is over 44 in the 40+ bracket, for an hour 45 minutes. I mean, that's just not something that you can do. So by all means, definitely let us know who you'd like to hear from and whose brain you want to pick. Share the content on your local pickleball pages. Share it with players that you want to see on the show so that they can get fired up and be like, what Dave was on here? What Kyle was on here? Byron Fresser was on here. Stephanie Lane was on here. Pickleball Tournaments was on here. Oh my God, I got to be on this show. And coming up, our next interview will be with Frank Anthony Davis, an awesome player out of New Jersey. He will be our next interview. We're going to have a great time talking about it. We're going to do a lot of Jersey talk because my wife's from Jersey and I'm from Staten Island. And so, you know, we got plenty of stuff to reminisce on. And as I mentioned earlier in the program, we will have Carl and another guest from, I'm sorry, I can't, I don't have my cue cards. My teleprompter is not here. But we will have Carl from the PPF. And that's going to be amazing. So that's going to be a wealth of knowledge for all of you pickleball players that are up and coming and have professional aspirations. These are the shows you want to watch. This is what you want to learn about. This is Bros and Pros. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kim Sharpton. I'm so happy that you were here. So happy that you watched. And I approve this message. Thanks for being a part of what we do. See you soon. Peace.
Turn it up.